is for apples, they are delicious, and they're also very good for you. B is for balloons at your birthday party, that was a good one, everybody danced. C is for cookies, they are so tasty, but they're just a sometimes snack. And D is for divorce, that your parents filed for. Yeah, D is for divorce, they don't love each other anymore. E is for every time that you're with them, all they do is fight and fight all day. F's the frustration that you are feeling, 'cause the pain inside won't go away. G is for the good times that are over, things are different now, you have 2 homes. And D is for divorce, they might say it's not your fault. Yeah, D is for divorce, but you'll never really know for sure. The weekend comes and Dad is home, but it's just for visitation. He takes you back to his new bachelor pad and cries his eyes out on the couch, 'cause Mom has got a new boyfriend, and you can call him Dad if you want. And we sing la 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 la. D is for divorce, and we sing la 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 la. D is for divorce.
All right, it's 8 p.m. on the Eastern Seaboard. Welcome to Living Room Comedy. Woo! Yay, we're going to get started in just a couple of minutes, or just a couple of seconds, really. But before we do, just a couple of quick notes. One, turn your cameras on. If you have a face, we'd like you to prove it by turning your camera on so we can see it. Does anyone have a face? Raise your hand if you have a face. No, I can't see it. If your camera's not, see all the people with faces raise their hand. People without your cameras on, I have no proof of faces. If you don't actually have a face and that hurt your feelings, I apologize, because there are some faceless people. Likewise, turn your sound up so we can hear the sounds of your uproarious laughter. Does anyone want to give a sample of what? That's exactly what we want to hear. Very good. Thank you, Ann Wilson. If you are shy for both sight and sound, which some people are, you can still engage by giving one of these little emoji thingies. We think they're cute. Actually, just me thinks they're cute. But yeah, you can engage with us with the little emoji reaction thingies. We are best viewed in speaker view. That will ensure that the person speaking will be the largest face on your screen. So you can put us in speaker view by clicking the little thing on the upper left-hand corner that says view, where the little dots, and click on speaker. We want to say hello to our friends at Comedy Hub on Twitch. Hello, Comedy Hubbers. We assume you are twitching, and that is why the website is named Twitch. Otherwise, I can't think of another reason. And we would also like to throw up some links in the chat window. If at any time during the show you laugh or find any sense of mirth, you owe us money immediately. And you can donate by clicking one of those links. All right, all of you, $10. That's it. Click one of the links in the chat window for Venmo, PayPal, or Zelle to tip our comics. It helps to keep the show running. Apparently, Zoom isn't free. Who knew? When you want to, do a show. Yeah, Aaron just almost did a spit take for Zoom isn't free. And we do pay our comics, which is apparently unusual in this industry. So throw us a couple of bucks to keep the show rolling. And with that in mind, are you guys ready for your host for this evening?
All right.
Yeah.
I have hinted at his whereabouts. He's right here. We have the same background. You guys give a big round of applause for Aaron Camino Smith, everybody.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hello, everybody. That's my standard intro, my standard welcome. How is my volume sounding compared to Carrie? Good?
More.
Yeah? More?
Yeah.
Do we want it louder, or do we think it's good?
It's good.
Great.
It's good.
All right. That's all it takes. I heard one person say it's good, and that person now has the majority of the people who responded. So very funny, Ron. First things first, happy birthday weekend to Carrie.
Yeah.
Birthday weekend.
Wow. This is her last weekend in her 20s, and we really need to party it up. Sadly, it was her mom who just laughed really hard as I said that. Fun. And next thing, happy Olympics beginning, everybody.
It's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the live, it's not live, but they're broadcasting it live. I guess everything being broadcast ever is technically live in that moment. It's on right now. So thank you for not watching that and instead being here.
It's on, but
I appreciate it. Oh, Ron and Laura, you've got it on the other screen. At least the volume is up on this and not on that. I was in a bar during the Winter Olympics years ago, back when like curling was still a joke and wasn't fun to watch, and like when it first started. And I remember I was doing a show at a bar, and we were in like the back room, and curling was on up at the bar, and there were more people watching curling than watching our comedy show. So that was just depressing. Yeah, I don't know. I guess if many of the people not watching right now are busy watching badminton, maybe, perhaps they're big fans of the shuttlecock. All right, that's such a fun word to say all the time, every time. Clean show, everybody. Okay, just smashing the shuttlecock. All right, that's totally clean, believe it or not. That is. I am happy to have all of you here. If anybody is here for the first time, I don't know if there's too many new people here, but go ahead in the chat and I want you to type where you are coming in from, what wild and crazy fact there is about where you are watching us from, where you were born, where you grew up, what town you're in right now, or just a wild and crazy fact that you happen to know. Go ahead and type it in the chat. If it is wild enough and or crazy enough, I will read it out loud. I'm looking in the chat right now, and I am seeing just Carrie's message about our Venmo. So, do you guys know that if you go to paypal.com/paypalme/livingroomcomedy ? locale.x=en_US, that will send us money? That is a wild and crazy fact that I just learned, that is exactly our link for PayPal. I just learned that right now. I didn't know that. It always weirds me out that there are question marks in HTML and all that stuff. It really bothers me when I see like a link that has a question mark in it. And I'm just like, do I want to go here? I don't know. Yeah, it really just makes me question if it's the correct place to go. Where have I been these last couple weeks? Good question, everyone. I was on vacation, first of all, for a week. That was upstate New York. Not the most exciting. got some exciting news while I was on vacation. The venue where I was very excited to film my stand-up comedy special at announced that they're closing down at the end of next month.
No.
So I will not be performing at the Laurie Beachman Theater at the end of September. But don't worry, I've got a backup. It's the theater's like a third the size. So all we need is like 4 or 5 people, and it's going to feel full, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I've got potentially a backup to the backup. I haven't decided what order I should put them in my head of which one backs up the backup. And then I looked at a synagogue that was turned into a comedy club. If anyone here has ever performed at the Actors Temple Theater, a lot of weird adjectives in there, right? They're like, is it a synagogue? Is it a temple just for actors? Is it a temple theater? Does temple go from a noun into an adjective? Who knows? It's very confusing. But what really puts you in the mood of this 135 seat theater is all the like faded bronze in memoriam plaques all over the front of the theater when you walk in. So that's good. A lot of Saul Rosenbergs as you walk in. You're like, it's his yard site right now. And so let's get ready to laugh. Okay. That's what it's been up to. That's great. I don't know if that one, that's definitely the backup to the backup to the backup is what I think. So other exciting places I've been, I was in Frederick, Maryland for a show. That was a lot of fun. Not too far from Ann Wilson, actually. I should have stopped over and said hello, and I didn't. I am a terrible not son, but I should have come by and said hello. And then I was in Detroit. I was in Detroit yesterday for a very fun. The show was great. Everything else about Detroit exactly as advertised.
Must be tired.
It was pretty. Oh, I'm fine. I've been in the car for on average probably 5 hours a day for the last couple days. I didn't drive to Detroit. I flew to Detroit. But I've been in modes of transportation for many hours every day. But yeah, Detroit, where no door properly opens or closes for some reason. I don't know why. Like every door sticks or won't shut. I don't get it. Like you're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go into this bathroom stall, and oh look, I'm closing the lock, and then the door still opens. Huh, that's weird. Well, I'm going to go into the comedy room right now, and I can't open the door to the comedy room. There's no lock on it. In fact, it isn't even latched, but the top of it is narrower than the bottom of it. Welcome to Detroit. I don't like, if only we just spent a little more money and invested a little more indoors initially, we wouldn't have this issue, and you wouldn't have people like me making fun of Detroit. So yeah, Detroit was fun. It was a good time. I had a good time at the show though. I'm calling it my prepping for the album tour at the theater that won't exist. That's what I'm the prepping for the filming. But I'm still excited. I'm still pumped.
There you go.
I'm still in a good mood. I had something. Oh, this is very fun. Speaking of synagogues, I walked by, there's a synagogue here in Brooklyn Heights. I think Shelley knows it. And I walked by the synagogue, and there was a sign that said, join us this weekend for Jewish yoga. And I was like, well, I got to see what Jewish yoga is. I don't know what Jewish yoga could possibly be. I feel like instead of cobbler's pose, it's cobblers, I suppose.
Oh, Aaron.
Carrie knew where I was going with that one.
They write themselves.
Store Blinds to Go. Have you guys heard of this store?
Yeah.
All right, it's a joke that I did last week and have been, or 2 weeks ago, and I've been doing the joke frequently on Living Room Show. Not as good as my Belarusian joke though, which I will not redo because Carrie's going to give me the light.
No, it's the blind. I drove by a Blinds to Go and took a photo and sent it to Aaron, and I was
Carrie
like,
texted me and she said, I'm driving by a Blinds to Go, or she said, or I'm going by a Blinds to Go, and she sent me a picture of Blinds to Go. And I think when she sent it to me, I was driving by a Blinds to Go in New Jersey at the same time.
Wow.
Like it was pretty mind blowing, and I had a real mind to go in and give them a piece of my mind.
Nice.
And be like, yeah, I'm going to have my blinds, but for here, I'm going to have them to stay. That's basically the joke, Paul, if you were wondering. That's the whole joke.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Got it?
works.
Keep
Keep it.
So on both of these shows, by the way, in Maryland and in Detroit, I very few Jews, almost none. And I love to say like Jews in the, like, where are we? Jews in the crowd. And then like no one raises their hand. Always, by the way, it's someone else like pointing to their friend and being like, I was like, yeah, can you, like, that's not, we Jews don't like being pointed out like that. That never ends well. You just take it easy. And on both of these shows, someone did eventually raise their hand to say that they did an Ancestry.com test and found out they were Jewish when they didn't even know they were Jewish.
Wow.
So like at the show in Maryland, the woman, like, she said that she did a test and she found out she was Jewish. And I was like, wow, was that surprising? She's like, yeah, I had no idea that I was Jewish. It turned out I was 40% Jewish. I did 2 tests to really check if I was Jewish. And I was like, you just really didn't want to be Jewish, did you? No, it can't be. It can't be. I can't be Jewish. And then when I was at the show in Detroit, it happened again where I was like, Jews in the crowd. And like one woman did raise her hand and she said same thing. She did an Ancestry.com test, found out she was like 10% Jewish. She like didn't know her mother. And then it turns out that like somewhere in there, she had a half sister she didn't know about. She also found out she was Jewish. And it was like mind blowing to me that 2 shows in a row, people who didn't know they were Jewish found out they were Jewish. I was very proud of myself for the Detroit show. I said, okay, everybody raise your hand if you've never done an ancestry test. And then like a third of the room raised their hand. And then I was just like, Jew. It was a pretty wild moment. It really brought the house down. And then everyone, it was amazing. It was really, it was a great time. I also learned, by the way, that everyone thinks Jews complain a lot. That was the theme. And I was like, what? We don't complain. Stop saying that. Stop it. Ridiculous, right? This has been fun. All right, I got one more thing I got to talk about, and then I promise we'll let other people talk. I was listening. I still listen to AM radio when in the car. I don't know if you guys do. But I was listening to, there was a psychic in England was asked to predict the election in America. This was about a week ago that she was asked this. And they were like, this woman is amazing because she predicted that it was going to be not a woman who would win the election. And this was like before Biden had said that he was going to drop out. And they were all like, whoa, this psychic is amazing. And I was like, yeah, a week ago, it seemed pretty obvious that Biden was going to stay in. And there's no way that it could have possibly, like, I didn't think it was that big a deal, but I kept listening to this story. And it turns out that the psychic is an asparagus psychic. She's in England and she has asparagus. And you know how some psychics, they like throw out cards or they throw out tea leaves and they read this. No. Throws asparagus and then reads the asparagus. Really what she does is she throws asparagus and says whatever she feels like saying. And she kept saying, the asparagus told me. I'm sorry, can you take anything seriously that someone says when they say the asparagus told me?
Yeah. Don't keep us in suspense.
A woman.
Yeah, do you know what my asparagus told me? Flush a second time. That's all. There we go. I knew where I was going with that, everybody.
It would be more of an asparagus.
Yeah. Carrie, that was perfect. Well, can you save it for your own set, please? All right. Everybody, we've got an amazing show for all of you. I'm so excited for all the comics that we have here. And I'm excited that it's almost the end of July and we are still doing Zoom shows in 2024 at midway through the summer. And that we're able to see comics that I genuinely haven't seen in too long. And this is great that they're here. when the comics are up here, give them a lot of love, give them a lot of energy, just laugh and enjoy yourself. You're doing a great job. Again, if you can unmute yourself, I'm looking at you, Jade or Brandon or Erica or Dave or Nikki or Leilani or Daniela or Natasha or Evil Dave or Gordon or Cassidy. If you can unmute yourself, never mind, Cassidy is unmuted. If you can unmute yourselves, we would love to hear your laughter. It really just helps this feel like an awesome show and doesn't feel like we're just sitting in our rooms questioning all of our decisions about comedy. So we would love to hear your amazing laughter, or else we will fly to Detroit and try to open doors. We will do it. This comic coming up right now, she is absolutely hilarious. She is a forensics champion in New Jersey. Forensics is debate and speech, by the way. We may have crossed paths and not even known it, which is pretty amazing. Let's hear it for the amazing and talented Rachel Parenta, everybody. Let her hear it.
Yeah.
So that's the intro you get when you're like, I have nothing to promote. So that's my fault. And it was a lie. I was not a champion in speech and debate. I just was a participant. Aaron was the one who was the champion. And I think I'm just a little bit too old. I think I may be like a year or two older than like too old for us to have competed. All right, so no one needed to hear any of that. But the next time I'm ever going to see Aaron, and so that was really important for me to say to him. And so you all have now been privy to that kind of real kind of bonding that comedians do, which is that's it. That's as close as we get. What's happening? Oh, okay. So I am actually married to a man. Don't let this this is it's like really you can't see it, but this is my engagement ring. Is it blinding? Is it taking up all of the screen? Is it just yeah. My house as we speak. When people see this ring, they're like, oh, so green card wedding? No. It's my fault that I have a tiny ring because I'm super cheap. And I was like, dude, do not get me a ring. And he was like, no, if I don't get you a ring, your mother's going to shoot me. And I was like, all right, well, just don't spend money on it. So he didn't. And when you find a man who does what you say yes. So that is, we actually almost didn't get married because a few months before we proposed, my parents had gotten me a blender and an ice cream maker for my birthday. And I was like, so I don't need a wedding. I'm good. And we kind of said, standing mixer. So we got married because we needed one of those. What's great is, so my friends actually like him, but they liked it before they even met him because that's how much they hated my ex-boyfriend that they would have been like, half a face, Rachel, that's real. You know, Picasso used to paint people with half faces. That sounds really beautiful. I think they're going to have a magnificent future with you two and your 3/4 face children. I really, really do. Yeah, we, I don't know. I don't even, we've been living together for, we lived together for like 6 years before we got married. We moved in together pretty quick after we started dating because we just got to that point in our relationship where he lost his job and I lost my sublet. So it's 21st century. And living together, man, it's like, he gets like mad. He's like, not so loud. Like, shh, you're so loud. And I'm like, dude, I wouldn't have to yell if you weren't so emotionally distant. I don't even know why he cares. Like, he doesn't listen when I talk anyway. Like, last night I farted and he was like, God bless. I'm not trying to brag about being married or anything. I'm not that person. You know, like you have those friends who are like on the social media are like, my husband's so amazing. He's like the greatest husband that ever lived. There is no husband better in the history of husbands that has ever existed. He is like better than Alexander the Great. He's better than Philip the Great. He's just great. I'm like, oh my God, we met him in life. Like, you're not, he got hurt apple picking. He brags about how fast he can pee. How is it a thing to brag about? When does that even come up? It's like, oh, the house was on fire, but I was able to like evacuate my bladder before I evacuated the house. Time to not catch fire. Too bad. All your bladders are full waiting for the fire truck. It's like, what? I hate him. I hate them. Whatever. You guys hate my friends as much as me? Yeah, I know they do. I'm also, but I hate my friends who also then brag about not being married. They're like, my boyfriend and I, we don't need a piece of paper to tell us we're in love. We don't need the government to define our relationship. Like, I don't need a piece of paper to tell me I'm in love. I need a piece of paper that tells me I get half. Like, your boyfriend has a credit score. Do not get that piece of paper. Like, I will say one nice thing about my husband. Not to go overboard or anything, but he has really good posture. He's 6'2" and he stands tall. And I'll tell you this, he has the self-confidence of Eeyore, so it's actually kind of an accomplishment that he'll stand up and look you in the eye. What were we talking? Do we need to talk any more about marriage? Maybe not. Oh no, we do. So here's the thing. My husband's fine, I guess. But I really think I should have tried to marry my second cousin. No, it's not gross because he's rich. So yeah, so it's too late now. Like, I'm married, he's married. And I should have really been working that angle like when I was a kid. But when I was a kid, I thought my life was going to work out. So why would I need to try to marry my second cousin? But that's the thing. Kids are stupid, right? Like, God, 5-year-olds, man, they don't even know what wine goes with steak. Anyway, so like I missed that opportunity, and I feel like I actually would have had a shot with him because like he didn't wind up marrying a trophy wife. Like, the woman he married, she's not really better looking than me. Like, she wears makeup and stuff, but like I feel like I'm in better shape, so that's kind of a wash. And then they didn't have kids, and like we also wouldn't have kids. I mean, for different reasons, like because we're related. But I think the only thing standing in our way of getting married would have been his mother, who's also my cousin, because that's how second cousins were. And she wouldn't have approved, and not because we're related, but because I'm only half Jewish, and she's a bigot. So, speaking of Jews, do you know what Jews and neo-Nazis have in common? They both spend a lot of time on the internet trying to figure out who's Jewish. Ooh. There's like these two websites. There's like this website called Jew or Not a Jew, which is written by these two Jewish dudes, and it's kind of funny and cheeky, and they give like scores and whatever. And then there's this other website called Jew Watch, which is written by skinheads, but it is a more comprehensive list. And I feel like if I don't click on any ads, I'm not actually supporting white supremacy. You know what they don't have on that list though is Jesus, which is like bigger Jewish names out there. I wonder how Jewish Jesus was though. Like, did he have a bad back? Was he constantly worried if he was able to digest what was being served for dinner? Did he give his relatives like guilt trips all the time? Like, oh no, you enjoy your life. Go have fun. Don't be carefree. I'll die for everyone's sins. No, sit, relax, put your feet up. I'll get up on the cross. What happened? Oh, speaking of weirdos, you guys remember January 6th when they the castle? What was that? So when they stormed the castle, I was wondering like what these people were thinking. Like, did they think they were really gonna like punish those senators or the government? Because you know who they wound up like hurting was Janice from procurement. Like, you know, Janice working for the federal government, who's now been tasked with replacing the windows they broke. Like, you can't just go to Home Depot and pick up Capitol windows. Like, that's not like, and even if you could, do you think like Home Depot is in like an approved vendor for the federal government? Does anyone here work like a big organization or like a big company? Like, You need to like get bids for like special projects. She'd have to get 3 bids. Are there 3 people who make windows? She'd have to get a bid waiver form and then figure out how to get Annabelle on the 8th floor to prove that crap. Like, all I'm saying is, during January 6th, my husband was in the fetal position on the couch, worried about democracy. And I was worried how those windows were going to get replaced. So I have like, I don't know, is there 7 seconds left of clean stuff that I can say, or do people? Good night and God bless. How about that?
Keep it going for Rachel, everybody.
Yeah.
God bless. This is an A religious show,
This is a
and
God bless.
that's it.
I hope she will.
I like how Rachel, you said you don't like your friends who are married, and then you don't like your friends who are single. I think you just don't like your friends. I think that's pretty much everybody.
That is correct. That is.
Yeah.
They're the worst. I have terrible taste in people.
The only people Rachel likes is everyone in this audience and on this show. That's you nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
We actually hand selected all 26 participants of this Zoom show. And we make sure to have Rachel screen it before we even let everybody in. One more time for Rachel, everybody.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. I don't know. Not to brag, guys, but my junior year, I was the New Jersey State Forensics League state champion in the improv category.
Nice.
Yeah. And then my senior year, I came in 4th place. So, and I'm not still bitter about it, even though the 3 judges gave me first place, and then 6th place. But I'm not bitter about it.
Wow.
I do remember that very specifically, but I am not bitter about what happened in 1999. All right, everybody, we are going to keep this show rocking and rolling. This next comic, she is hosting the Funny Women of a Certain Age podcast next week, I believe, and we are excited to have her on our show right now. She's done it before, and we're happy to have her back. Let's hear right now for Shelly Coleman, everybody.
Yay.
I am the host of the Funny Women of a Certain Age podcast, and that is because I am a woman of a certain age, and that age is the age of the hot flash. So you'll excuse me, I'm fanning myself like an antebellum Southern woman, because it's either that or burst into flames, one of the two. I'm an old person. I come from a long line of old people. I want to tell you how old exactly. Let's say I'm in my early millions, and we'll leave it at that. That's silly. That's silly. I'll tell you what I will tell you is this. I got my Medicare card, bam, and that was disturbing. I mean, I applied for it, but still, some part of me said, "Oh, Shelly, you're not old enough for Medicare." They didn't say that. And actually, it didn't come in the mail. Now I think about it, it came by courier. And I don't know what company this guy was from, but I'll tell you what, I don't care for the uniform. It was delivered by this guy in a big black cloak. You couldn't see his face. And really, that's fine, but I think the side was a bit much. So I'm just word to the wise. The weird thing is the woman that I spoke to on the phone when I applied was very nice, very patient. I guess you should deal with cranky old people. And she asked me when I was going to retire and take Social Security, and I said, I can't. I have to work until I'm dead. And it's just nice, which is, I guess, because she has one of them good plumbing jobs. Like my family wanted.
Turn your volume up.
Shelly, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but it seems like your mic isn't working properly. And I'm wondering,
Just me.
That's insane.
is it flipped on or did it flip off? Or I hate to interrupt, but we can't really hear you that well.
Right.
All right, let's see. I don't know. I'm too old. I can't figure it out. I don't know how it works. Someone has to help me.
I know the feeling.
Shelly, you had
You
wired
guys should go
headphones.
downstairs.
Yeah, you had wired headphones before that sounded great.
I think if you guys go downstairs, because we don't want to make a mess upstairs. Sorry, everybody.
Look, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I could. You know what? Let's just stop I'll go away and come back and figure it out. You talk for a minute.
All right.
We'll talk for a minute, everybody.
Talk amongst
How about that
yourselves.
weather?
Aaron's
I'll give
back.
I'll give
Aaron
you a
has a
topic.
few, believe it or not, Aaron may have a few things to say. Asking Aaron to talk for amongst himself. That's what I do all the time and how I treat regular comedy. It's as if it's just a conversation with myself.
Did you, Aaron, speaking of Rachel saying that she didn't like married people and unmarried people, did you see that JD Vance said that people without children shouldn't vote?
I saw the headline, but I've made it a point over the last 10 years or so to not read any news past the headlines. So I don't actually know. I'm very good at remaining, I want to say blissfully ignorant, but instead I'm calling it
well,
angrily
world,
ignorant.
You would get to vote and I would not. Because I don't have any children and you have children. So therefore you care about the future.
Yeah.
This is the logic that people with children
And he
care about the future.
also said that Aaron should get 2 votes because he has
I get 2
child.
votes. I should get 2 votes and let my 2.5-year-old be the one who votes. And for some reason, every year she keeps electing ice cream.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Fantastic. So
your next.
So the radio microphone doesn't work. Got it.
There it is. Hang on. Well, now I'm not in gallery view anymore, and there you are. Let's hear it back for Shelley Coleman, everybody.
Goodness, should I start from the beginning? That would be weird. I don't know. I think I'm going to start from the beginning. What the hell? You going to tell me no? Tell me no. All right. So did you hear the part about how I got my Medicare card in the mail? Did you hear that?
Yes.
Yes.
You did. Okay, good. And did you hear about the fact that the Grim Reaper delivered it? Did you hear that part?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. Well, I thought it was him. I mean, the guy had a long black cloak and a scythe, so I figured that was probably him. Anyway, so when I applied for Medicare, and I didn't think I'd get it because I wanted them to say, "Oh no, Shelley, you're not old enough for Medicare." Well, they didn't say that. So the woman that I spoke to on the phone when I applied, she was very, very nice and very patient, and I guess they're used to dealing with cranky old people. She asked me when I was going to retire and take Social Security, and I said I can't retire. I have to work until I'm dead. And she seemed surprised, which I guess it was because she has one of them good government jobs, with a pension, like my family wanted me to get. Actually, my mother wanted me to be a lawyer. She really hoped I'd be a lawyer, as opposed to my father, who hoped I'd be a boy, and I disappointed myself. I didn't want to be a lawyer. Are you kidding me? No, too much school. What I wanted, oddly enough, was I wanted to be a dancer, because I love to dance. I love music. Problem is, I don't have the body to be a dancer. I think I have the soul of a dancer, but it's in the body of a cellist. And if you're a cellist and that offended you, I apologize. Pretend I said court stenographer. And if you're a court stenographer and you're offended, you had it coming. What can I tell you? That's right. I'm out for court stenographer. So, hey, guess what? I did the 23andMe. You'll never have guessed what I found out.
You're Jewish.
A little bit. I'm a little bit Jewish. I think I'm just Jewish enough that I can go and not worry about cultural appropriation, right? You're talking about married people. I am a single gal. Oh, yeah. I haven't. Last time I dated was, what's today? Decades ago. Decades ago. And really, I couldn't be happier, because why would I want to try to meet a man who wants to be with me and enjoys my company when I can sit at home and worry and eat too much and rewatch TV shows I watched in the 60s and 70s and pretend nothing's wrong? That's definitely better. Definitely better. Although, all right, I'll admit it. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love with someone who is not in love with me. again, because when you find something that works, you stick with it. He's really cool. He's a really it's a guy. Surprise! He's tall, but he's not too tall. No, he's good looking, but he's not too good looking. Okay, he's not perfect. Hell, how could he be? He's not an alcoholic musician. Oh God.
Good.
He is, though. I'll tell you what, though. He is completely, totally, 100% emotionally unavailable. I was wrong. He is perfect. I just. It's my parents' fault. I blame them. Of course, I have to. I can because they're dead. What are they going to do? Oh, don't be sad. I didn't kill them. It's fine. Hey. No, I didn't kill him. I was raised by an alcoholic and a Puritan, which really is the best parental combination you can get if you can't find like a couple of serial killers or whatever. But as a result of that, I got some issues. I'm very what's the word I'm looking for? Shy, retiring, inhibited, cold-hearted bitch, whatever. I don't know, whatever. But as a result of that, I've got some, I guess you'd call them body issues. I'm uncomfortable being naked around other people. I used to go to the gym, and I would always find the farthest locker from anybody. And it doesn't matter, of course, because if you've ever been to a gym locker room, it doesn't matter where you are. When you go back to your locker, there's going to be somebody right next to you. That's the law.
Yes.
But it just, it made me uncomfortable. Even it was just a women's locker room. Still, I didn't like it. Honestly, I don't like getting undressed when there's a dog in the room. And I don't think, they're not judging like cats. Really, they have questions, and I don't answer them. Love dogs. Dogs are the best. Here's my philosophy, because I know you're writing this down because it will be on the exam. My philosophy is this. The universe is a cold and unfeeling place. Isn't that great? What a relief. What a relief. So it's not that the universe doesn't care about you. It's that it can't care about you. And realistically, even if it could, it wouldn't. It still wouldn't, because look at yourselves. I will say this, though. Dogs are the best thing going, period. The only thing better than a dog is two dogs.
Yes.
Or a puppy. But since I don't have any, I just have to make do with my stuffed animals, which is great. They're fine, because since I no longer have a therapist either, I used to be in therapy, but I'm all better now. Since I no longer have a therapist, I just run everything by my stuffed bears, and it all works out. It's all fine. So I'm going to leave you with that cheerful thought. And I will say this as I go. No man is an island, but the ex-governor of New Jersey is close.
Keep it going for that stuffed animal, Mom Shelley, everybody. Yeah.
Really?
I thought you were gonna say I do have stuffed animals. They're all of cats, though. Just to really confuse my therapist. Time for Shelley getting the microphone situation figured out on the fly. By the way, Shelley, that's frustrating for people even not of the age that you were saying you were. That's difficult for all of us to deal with, even me. And I'm rather savvy of the tech savvy. I'm tech savvy. And I will still have trouble with it sometimes when trying to do it on the fly. Every time we're about to start this show, Carrie tells me my microphone is too low. And you know how I fix it? I raise the volume, but not before doing lots of other things first. I try all these other things and they never work. And then there's a little knob on my thing that I just go like that. And then, that fixes it. One more time for Shelly, everybody. All right, everyone. I am excited for this next comic. He is absolutely hilarious, and we are so pumped to have him with us. Let's hear it right now for the amazing, the talented, the tech savvy Paul Bennett.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh my God. I sure hope my mic works. Yeah. Hey, everybody.
But you're not old.
I'm not old. No. Oh man. Yeah, I'm doing comedy at my age. Like, it's funny, like when you're doing comedy in person, you know, like you get on stage and people are like, you know, like they just think like the manager's on stage, you know. You know, like they'll ask me, they're like, oh, this guy's gonna be so funny. Look at this. When I got on stage, you're like, oh, pay attention. This guy's gonna tell us about drink specials. I feel like people are always like, you know, I feel like people are doing so well in comedy around me, and you know, I always feel like I'm doing terrible as a comedian, but in comedy. But you know what? As in comedy, I'm doing great as a middle-aged accountant. You know, I'm killing it. I'm doing it. People are always like, "You're not." People, are, you know, I got on the poster. You know, it's like I want to be higher on the poster. I'm like, I just want to be somewhere on the poster. Just I'll handwrite myself in.
The hero with the
Oh man, okay. We got someone's watching TV. That's great. Okay. Hey Aaron, I like Kelly, your like science of cities. You're like, I touched 2 doors in Detroit. I'm gonna stereotype the whole city. That was great. I like that. I like that. When I went to Detroit, my Detroit experience was I had my kids stayed in the car because I just wanted to run inside and get something at Starbucks. When I came out, there was a guy like, you could tell he was like debating, should I carjack this guy's car with the kid in it, or should I just like not do it? Like he's like, what should I do?
Oh my God.
That was my Detroit experience. But, yeah.
What do you do?
What he just looked at me like I was an idiot for leaving my kid in the car. Like, what are you doing? You know, I left the door open, and like he's like, don't you know anything?
Maybe the kid was ugly.
What's that?
Oh.
I know. I like I like going in like Times Square. That's something that's like not Detroit, right? I used to sell comedy tickets there. And it was a lot of fun. It was great because like you compete with people who would lie all the time. You know, like the guy next to me, like the people would ask him who's on the show. They'd be like, Eddie Murphy's on the show. And then they'd ask me who is on my show, and I didn't want to lie, but I also like didn't know anyone but me who's on the show. So I would just say my name as if I was as important as Eddie Murphy, because they'd be like, who's on your show?
Right.
I'd be like, Paul Bennett's on the show.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow. And I'm like, I'm 100% sure you know who Paul Bennett is too. And then like I'll be like a guy would like put his arm around his girl and be like, yeah, I know who Paul Bennett is. And I'd be like, you both know who Paul Bennett is. I'm sure about that. Yes. I'm sure when you see Paul Bennett on stage, you're going to be like, I know that guy. It's that guy. That's that guy. That's the guy. Oh,
that works.
Yeah, I don't live in New York City anymore, but I miss it. And I have a friend, he once called me when I was living there. He called me out of the blue. I haven't talked to him since high school. And he just finished a 15-year prison sentence. He was like, just getting out of prison. And he's like, how you doing, Paul? I'm like, doing okay. I'm living in New York City. He's like, whoa, you're living in New York City? That's crazy. I wouldn't want to live there with all that terrorism. I'm like, you live in a Florida prison. What are you talking about? Like, you know, and I'm like, dude, I'm putting this on Facebook. He's like, what's Facebook? I'm like, prison sounds great. It's safer than New York City. No social media. You know, like, hey, this guy's, you know, got a better bunk than me, or this guy's got 2 pieces of bread. You know, that's great. Okay. Oh man. Yeah. I think my most New York City moment, like, because I grew up around there, was when I was a teenager. I was just walking around, and someone just punched me in the head out of the blue.
Wow.
Yeah, just punched me in the head.
No.
Yeah, but I did the most New York City thing you could do at that moment. I just kept walking and pretended like it didn't happen, you know? You know, I saw this thing about how like serial killers, like what makes them a serial killer is that...
Correct, you're back in the lead.
TikTok for 400.
There we go. What show is this? What show is he watching?
I got it.
What is
You
it?
fixed it.
I don't know. It's some that wants to be a billionaire who's not doing comedy. I don't know. Man. We talk about serial killers, right? Oh, that was a great joke.
Yeah.
No. Okay. What makes someone a serial killer, right, is that they could turn their emotions on and off like a light switch. And I was like, whoa, I thought that made you a New Yorker. Like, that's how I get around the subway. I thought that's like my whole, way I live, But I don't know. But I live in a very rural area now, and people are so nice around here. Like, it's crazy. Like people are so nice that they use the word delightful to describe other people.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like in New York City, that would never happen. Never be like, that guy over there, he's a piece of garbage. That guy over there, I hate him. That guy over there, delightful. He's really a special person. Kind and wonderful, and I don't know. It's hard living in the country though, because you gotta like know stuff. Like I had to buy a car. I don't know anything about cars. I got in there. He's like, this car is a great transmission. I was like, oh yeah, I could tell. He's like, that's the radio. I'm like, I don't know what. I don't know.
Or as a Paul Bennett.
Yeah, it's a Paul Bennett, right? I did have a moment when I knew so much. I knew more about nature than a local. I felt so good. That we were like 30 feet away from this porcupine, and the person was like, whoa, stand back. The porcupine could shoot its quills at you. I'm like, porcupines don't shoot quills. Like, I know that, like no one's ever like, hey, we got to rob a bank. Let's bring a bunch of porcupines, or, like get down. It's a bunch of porcupines. Like, that's not a thing that happens. I felt very good about myself, but yeah. But it's crazy though around here. Like, I actually called the bus company one time because I wanted to find out when a bus was coming. And I actually I would press one button and I talked to a person. I was like, so what is and they just told me. They just like told me, like, that would never happen in New York City. New York City, like I could never become mayor of New York City, like no matter how hard I tried. But like around here, if you like put in some effort, you could be mayor of like 5 towns if you wanted. But, like, the only catch is that probably one of them is going to make you answer like the bus company phone line, If I call back. Okay. How's this going, Aaron? Okay, good. I tried. One thing I miss about New York is the store Five Below. You guys know that? Like, yeah. I think it's the most optimistic store ever because during the pandemic they had curbside delivery. And I love the idea that someone they were expecting people to call up and be like, "Hey, do you have 10 glow in the dark hula hoops?" And they're like, "No." But we have 5 Michael Jordan chocolate bars that are shaped like shoes. We'll bring them out to your car right now. Like, thanks. I like optimistic people. I'm not optimistic. My daughter, when she was 5, she got bit by a terrier, right? And the next day she wanted to like buy stickers of dogs. Like, I am never that optimistic, And like someone's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm not being attacked by dogs." Like, that's so cool. Like, I never do that. I never I went to the hospital and now I don't have to worry about all that money I used to have. Like, that's not... But I know this. I like being I'm a divorced dad, which is kind of like, yeah. No, I have 3 kids. One's 17, one's 6, and one's 3, which like absolutely says that I'm divorced. But like, and here's one of them right now. She's 6.5. She's very cute. But it's when I was just a divorced dad, it was pretty awesome because like when I just had my older kid, because like you're on like you go from like the dad team to like divorced dad team. You go from like the Tom Brady Patriots to like Patriots today. It's like the worst team ever. And like if I bring my daughter to school, they're like, "Wow, you're an amazing father," but this is not her school. This is a bowling alley. What are you doing here? Okay. This is awesome. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.
Keep it going for Paul, everybody.
The Paul.
Yeah, the Paul Bennett. Yeah, I think I tagged you correctly on social media with that. Everybody, I don't have my daughter next to me right now. Otherwise, I'd pick her up. It's the only reason comedians should have kids, is just in case they're like, I want a quick applause break. And then you just like lift the child into the camera. I did that, I think, when she was a tiny baby and my wife was out. She was like barely 6 months old and I was running the show. And I was like, I'm just going to lift her up every time. I'm not sure what to do. Everyone, we've got one more comic for all of you. Before we get to that final comic, and I think you know who she is, you know that this is a free stand-up comedy show. And how do we get to bring these amazing comics back week after week with a free comedy show? By paying them money. If you're wondering how much money we suggest tipping, we think if you want to tip $5 per person watching the show, that's a great amount. If you're having a great time, $10 per person, $5 per child watching the show, and $17 per dog that is currently watching. That goes for Jax, Honey, and Mia. Those are Ron and Laura's dogs. That I remember all their names now. Or if you just think it's the greatest show ever, just show up to my apartment and just start sliding $100 bills under the door. That I think is the best way to do it. I'm in apartment 28J, but I won't give you the address.
Wow.
Everyone, Carrie just put those links into the chat right there, so you can click on those. We all remember, what's that weird punctuation mark in the PayPal one? It's a question mark. Keep it going for Paul's daughter, everybody. And on our donation list, we got at friend level was Evil Dave, although I'm going to keep saying it's Nice Dave. Potato level is Laura and Henry, and Heckler level is Jake, but Jake's not here. And I think Henry and Jackie are here either to even know that they're there. But I'll let them know because I see Henry in the hallway sometimes, usually wearing a Mets hat. Let's hear it for all of our donors from, I guess that was 2 weeks ago at this point. But thank you so much. If you want to get up to the Illuminati level, just send us some money and find out if that's the top or the bottom, or perhaps in full Illuminati style, the top might be the middle. Who knows? I don't know if that's Illuminati or MC Escher style. I'm not sure. We have one more comic for all of you right now. She is absolutely hilarious. Tomorrow is her birthday, or as she calls it, her birthday. Let's hear it right now for the amazing Carrie Gravenson, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is such a delight that you invited me to do this show. I appreciate it. So I have a list of jokes that involve the word birthday. May I? All right. So when I first, I've lived in my apartment for almost 13 years. And when I first moved in, I noticed that there are only two establishments between the subway exit and my front door. And that was a liquor store and an Entenmann's outlet. Entenmann's outlet is where cakes go to die. Like if it's too late to sell you in a store, you get sent back to the outlet. And a liquor store is where you buy liquor. So the first year I lived here, I was just a fat drunk. It was really, I couldn't not go into these two stores. Eventually, like I would go into Entenmann's and they would have signs that were like 10 cakes, $10. And I'd be like, well, I have $10. And you need to see. I was like Schindler. I was like, I can save you. I can save you, but not all of you. I need 9 friends. But on the Entenmann's, there was this weird thing where, since it was an outlet, it's not like a real store, right? It's just like pallets of like random stuff, and they would put like colored coding labels on things. And I think it was to work there, I think it was punishment for Entenmann's employees. I think it was like, if you're not good on this assembly line, we're going to send you to the outlet store. That's how angry they were. They were like, it was either this or like go to prison, was to work in the Entenmann store. It was bad. They were very hateful. They didn't want you in there. They didn't want to be in there. And there was this little sign on the door that said, on your birthday, we'll give you a free cake. Now, mind you, these cakes were like 35 cents. But since I live around the corner, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to go there on my birthday and get a free cake. And it was a handwritten sign, and under it, in all caps, underlined, it was like, ID needed. You don't want to be scamming free cakes from the Entenmann's outlet. So I go in there. all perky and happy. I've got birthday vibe. I walk in there like I own the place and I'm like, it's my birthday. Give me my free cake. And they were like, where's your ID? And I was like, aha. And it was in fact my birthday. And they were like, you could take any of the yellow lined cakes and then get out. I got my yellow line cake and I walked out and I ate my 35-cent birthday cake. God damn it. That's a win. The Intimates outlet did not make it through the pandemic. The store closed almost immediately. It was like one of the first casualties of the pandemic in my neighborhood. It was such a bummer. And what took its place was one of those like 10-minute delivery grocery store things. You know, they all popped up in the pandemic and then we were going to fight over which one survived. Like DoorDash lived, you know, it was like a DoorDash knockoff. So it was basically a bodega that you couldn't shop in. Like they had these enormous plate glass windows. You could see the food and all of the stuff on the shelves, but you had to download an app to get any of it. It was infuriating. That place closed and now it's becoming a UPS store and it's taking them too long to open. I have a whole table full of Amazon returns. I walk by and I'm like, when can I return these Amazon things? UPS store. Yeah, that was okay. One time I was getting laid off and I knew I was going to get laid off that day. So when the guy, they don't say the word layoff and they don't use the word fired. Has anyone ever been laid off? Just me? Ha ha ha. And they hired like a third party to do it so that you wouldn't like kill your boss. They hire people to fire you. It was so great. And so they had this like company come in and the guy who was firing me was British. And I think that's so that they sound like smarter than you. I don't know. And he was like, so a few of our positions here have been made redundant and yours is one of them. That's how they phrase it because they don't want to get sued. Right. And so I was like, so my job, you're firing me. Like I'm being laid off today. Today is the day you're laying me off. And he was like, yes, I'm afraid that's true. And I said, today's my birthday. And he went, what? Today? Today's your birthday? And I went, yeah, you're firing me on my birthday. That's messed up. And he was like, oh, no. And he starts looking through papers. And then I was like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. I've been fired before. It's fine. And then, so I just wanted him to have a bad day for like 5 seconds, you know? That was it. Just have a bad day. So I wouldn't have a birthday if I didn't have a mother. Basically, it's everyone's mom's fault they even have a birthday, if you think about it. My mom was in town a couple of weeks ago, and my brother and my mom were having birthday dinner, and mom had just finished doing her will. She had to update her will. She moved states. She updates her will. We're getting the update on it. And it's not a depressing thing to do your will. You can't avoid death, but you can avoid probate. And so we are avoiding probate conversation. We're like, everything's in writing. Nobody's upset. And mom wants to donate her body to science, which is great. I think that's amazing. But I need phone number. I don't know who to call. Like, all right, mom died. Hello, science? do you need another, I don't know. So I need a phone number. I need a website. I need an Instagram. I have to Instagram message someone to donate to science. We're going to work on that one a little bit. And also mom got her plot set. We have a plot, a family plot, humble brag. I know where I'm going. And mom was like, but there's fees for everything. There's fees for digging the hole. There's fees for covering the hole back up. And I was like, whoa. Are those two separate line items? So what if I don't pay the fee for covering the hole back up? Can we just put you in there and then leave the hole uncovered and I can go crawl in there and hang out with you? She was like, no, I think that's the same line item. We were talking about optimistic people a second ago, and I liked that during the pandemic, Chuck E. Cheese had delivery. That was my optimism. I was like, who goes to Chuck E. Cheese for pizza? Like, that's such not a thing people do. And they were like, all right, people aren't ordering pizza from Chuck E. Cheese. What do we do? So they started including 50 tickets with their pizza. They're like, get a Chuck E. Cheese pizza and we'll throw in 50 tickets that you can't use. It was the weirdest thing. Is Chuck E. Cheese still around? They made it?
Yeah. It is.
Also, let me ask you guys, is Chuck E. Cheese a rat or a mouse?
Ah,
Rat.
Rat? By vote?
Mouse.
Mouse? Mouse? All right. So don't make the mistake I did and Google this. Because Chuck E. Cheese has been both.
Whoa.
Goes back and forth. We sent this on a text thread to Mom. And we went back and forth about how in 1965 he became a mouse again, and then when he got bought by this other parent company, he became a rat again. And then people didn't like rats, so they cutened him up and blah blah blah. And finally, my mom wrote TMI, and she meant it as you're actually giving me too much information. This is not TMI in that you've said something graphic. This is TMI in that the amount of information is overwhelming. It's annoying to me. Guys, I'm going to end my set with demanding a birthday laugh and clap. Thank you. Yay, you're welcome. We'll go back over to our votes.
Get him.
Hey, Carrie Gravenson, everybody. I just realized I accidentally had my mic turned off. And I've been laughing this whole time, and Carrie didn't hear any of it. Carrie, can you...
Dying up here, Aaron. Dying up here.
Yeah, Carrie, can you start over? And then we'll have Shelley go again. Paul
Aaron,
and Rachel will go again just for fun. Sometimes like if I'm going to drink water, I'll like click them. I have an on-off switch here. See, it's like you can hear me. You can hear me. Like, see, that was the point. I can click it on and off. And I guess I forgot to turn it back on. And it was like genuine laughter. Well, that's a little disappointing for everybody. No, it's not. She got plenty of regular laughs.
Yeah.
Time for all the comics you have seen tonight. Yeah. Thank you all so much for being here, and clap it up for yourselves for being an amazing, wonderful audience. We can't do this show without you. Thank you so much, Ron and Laura and Anne and Dan and Jinda and Erica and Dave and Gordon and Evil Dave and Natasha and Daniela and Leilani and Cassidy and Valerie and Nikki and Joni. I made it through, everybody. We really appreciate you being here. We do the show every Friday. We took a little on-off July situation, but we're going to be here. I think I'm here every Friday except for towards the end of August. There's one time I'm going to be in Montana doing shows, so it's kind of vacation. Not really. But other than that, I'll be here, and Carrie will be here, and we've got comics for all of you. And yeah, follow us all online. I'm Funny Aaron. I forgot Rachel's thing. Rachel, shout it out. What are you?
Just Parenta Comedy on the
It's just Parenta Comedy, everybody. Don't think that it's something clever or anything beyond that. Don't think Funny Aaron is anything beyond that. Shelley, what's yours?
Awfully Snippy.
Awfully Snippy. Way better than Rachel and I have. Awfully Snippy, which, by the way, good luck trying to figure out how to spell awfully. Is there an E in there? Is it one L? Is it two L's? Let's just say I had trouble tagging Shelley at first. And Paul Bennett, and I just blanked on Carrie's because yours comes up automatically on all my stuff whenever I go to tag you because I tag you so frequently. So I don't think I actually know what your handle is on Twitter and everything.
It's not intuitive. It's Carrie Gravenson.
I don't know who the hell that is. Never heard of
one of a kind.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's only one Carrie Gravenson, and I didn't put a modifier because if you tag yourself as Funny Aaron, what if you're not funny?
I mean,
You have to change your whole identity.
Impossible.
the problem is
It's
no
like-
one knows how to spell Caminos, so I couldn't just be Aaron Caminos Smith, or they wouldn't include the S at the end of Caminos, even if they spelled Caminos correctly. So it was just very chaotic. But yeah, follow me on all that stuff, and I would say I'd put a link to tickets for my album special filming. But yeah, we don't know where it's going to be. So
Can I just
Save the
do
date.
one heckle? Can I please do one heckle?
Yes,
and
Mom.
can I
Very
jump in
nice
real
lady.
quick before the heckle?
The nice lady who talked about hot flashes.
That's me.
Where I live, it's a sign of youth.
Where do you
Because-
live?
Because
Hell?
you're still alive. Is that what it was?
Still alive.
In Baltimore. And this
Baltimore.
here's big announcement. I may be coming out to Sadman Comedy Club in Boca Raton, as long as Ron and Laura can figure out a way to get at least 25 of their friends to come out to the comedy club.
Dude, do you need an opener?
Carrie, just come the weekend after and be the headliner. Don't be my opener. Just be the headliner the following weekend.
Go to Florida by myself?
Yeah, from what I've heard is like basically as long as you can get audience to come out, and it's like, yeah, you know us comics on Zoom shows, we're huge draws in Boca. We can get Ron and Laura to come, hopefully. And unless they're going to come to both shows, that's only one show with at least 2 audience. So if anybody here lives in near Fort Lauderdale and wants to come to a stand-up comedy show, I haven't yet gave him the green light on the date because I don't know if I can actually make this happen or not. But yeah, Ron, Laura, we'll talk. We'll figure this out. Everyone, have a great night, everybody. Have a great weekend. Happy Olympics. Happy birthday to Carrie. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We love you all. I'll make it so everyone else can chat, and I'll take myself off spotlight. Have a great night, everybody. Good night.
Good night.